Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, the place to go online and create your own beautiful website. Hey guys, Florian from Off to Lens here, and today I wanted to talk about the difference between the 6K and the 4K. So I wanted to tell you why I decided to get the 6K and what I found to be different to the 4K after shooting for a month with it. So I'm going to talk about the main differences between the two cameras, the lenses I used on the 6K, how I used it, and the things I love and don't like so much about it. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. And let's get into it. So first of all, the EF mounts. As you know, I own a C200 and a 5D4, so for me being able to share lenses across all cameras is amazing, as opposed to invest in a different system. Because the Canon C200 has also a Super 35 sensor, it makes sense for me to use the BMPCC6K as a B cam, as it has the same similar look. So a big part of my job is video licensing, so having the option to deliver 6K footage is a huge plus, especially at that price point. The 6K sensor also allows for a super clean 4K. Something that I was very interested about when they announced the camera is the ability to record 120 fps in 2.8K, which can make for very cool shots, and you can easily upscale to 4K if you have to. I owned the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro before and loved it, and I feel like the 6K is a very close camera and has a similar sensor but is much smaller and portable. So physical size and weight. As you can see, there's a pretty big difference between the two cameras when it comes to size, especially at the front. The 6K is also a bit heavier. The sensor is different, being a Super 35 as opposed to the Micro Four Third, and obviously the EF mounts. The sensor for me is the biggest difference in my opinion. I always love the look of Super 35, you get a shallower depth of field, which can help sometimes in achieving a cinematic look, especially when paired with a fast lens. Resolution and codecs. Obviously the main difference, and it's in the name, is a jump in resolution from 4K to 6K. You have to keep in mind that the files are significantly larger. Also, the 6K cannot record 4K in B-RAW, so that can be a deal breaker for some people. I usually shoot 4K ProRes, so for me it's not that big of a deal. So the 6K has the same stunning image quality as the 4K, and you can't really tell the difference when it comes to tone and look. The image is definitely sharper though, and you can really notice it when you upload a 6K file to YouTube, for example. The compression is less noticeable and you get a very clean 4K. So far I've used the 6K with the Canon 16-35 f4 IS, the Canon 70-200 f4 IS, and the Laowa probe lens. I find it harder to have just one lens for everything on a 6K than it was on a 4K with the Lumix 12-35 for example, due to the sensor size and crop. Having an EF mount allows you to get pretty cheap lenses, but also allows you to use cinema lenses such as the Canon line or the Zine or Zeiss. They're pretty much the same as for the 4K with few differences. So the image quality that I love and that hasn't changed, the extra resolution that 6K gives you compared to 4K, the ease of use of the menus, the codecs, the frame rate options, and the anamorphic mode. And I also love the shooting experience as before. So the size and portability are the main drawbacks for me when compared to the 4K. I was actually quite surprised by the difference in weight between the 6K and the 4K when you put a lens on it. After shooting handheld with a 6K for a couple of hours, you really start to feel it. In my opinion, the 4K is more comfortable and better suited for travel, for example, or run and gun situations. The battery life is not as good as the 4K, and I think this is due to the extra power you need to process and shoot 6K files. There's also a vent at the bottom, which could be a problem when shooting near the beach or in conditions that are less than ideal. So the BMPCC6K, as the 4K was, is still my favorite camera at the moment to use. I would still use my C200 for documentary work, for example, but I feel like because of the EF mount and the new sensor, I can see myself using the 6K for documentary work more than the 4K. In my opinion, the 4K is still better value and offers a great package. I would say that if you're looking to buy a small cinema camera and already own EF lenses, or if you own a bigger camera such as the C200, C300, and want a smaller B cam that is nearly as powerful, then this is a camera for you. On the other end, if you're starting out and want the best bang for buck, or if you're looking for a travel camera, or if you just don't mind investing in Micro Four Third lenses, then get the 4K instead. Lenses are slightly cheaper and the extra money you don't spend on a 6K can be used for media and accessories. As mentioned before, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. We have been using Squarespace for more than 5 years now. After weeks of searching for the best platform to create our website, we decided to go with them as it allowed us to showcase our work exactly the way we wanted. Since we are filmmakers and photographers, we needed our content to be the main focus and for it to be updated quickly and often. The great thing about Squarespace is that it is an all-in-one platform. Not only you can build a professional website, online store or portfolio, but you can also claim a domain or URL and create a custom site that matches your style. Squarespace is easy to use, there's plenty of templates to choose from, and on top of that you get 24/7 customer service when you need help. Go to squarespace.com for free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/off2lens to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. Hope this quick video was helpful to you if you're still deciding between the two. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.